let's go ahead and go into our simulated games here. Our first game we'll have is the Baltimore Bill Hills at 9-2, taking on the Joliet Jagoffs at 3-8. Baltimore leading the conference. Joliet in contention. Simulate the game.
Fuck you, Baltimore!
Holy points! Joliet goes off! 63-49! T. Shaw with a 44-yard run. Jimmy Wangyang. Bussy had an interception return. T. Shaw with a banger of a game. Exactly. Good game overall by both quarterbacks. Jimmy Wangyang, 27 of 46, 231 yards, 6 touchdowns on the night. Reggie Wells and Rashard Bush with rushing touchdowns, respectively. Defense? Defense? Yeah, I think we're Jimmy Wangyang's going to get player of the game. What even? The Pittsburgh, and I have to make sure I show this, just make sure I haven't fucked with the stats or anything. The Pittsburgh By God Salad Fries, who have been cursed by Danhausen. They're coming off their first loss. They're taking on the 7-4 Dildo Good Vibes. Simulate the game. Uh-oh, the Salad Fries have too few active players. Bottoms up free agency by the lowest ranked person who is not a kicker and who is not an actual person. Derek Crawford, Gerard Alexander. You're now a salad fry. Moving on. The Pittsburgh Salad Fries against the Dildo Good Vibes. Simulate the game. Oh no. I think it's starting. 28-14 in a low-scoring affair. The Dildo Good Vibes get the win. The Pittsburgh Salad Fries drop to 8-3. 2 in a row, TP2 ply. With a series of early touchdowns making it 14-0. Made it 21-0 at one point. Toddler feed hands had to come in as quarterback. Kurt Warner, 2 of 2, had to leave the game. Travis Brickley injured. Toddler feed hands threw the only touchdown for Pittsburgh. TP2 ply, 24 of 42, 227 yards, 3 touchdowns. It wasn't pretty, but it was a win, and he also had a rushing touchdown chucked in with that too. Isaiah Jackson with 9 carries for 125 yards, but no touchdowns to show for it. Paul Givens with the 2 scores. Not flashy, but this week is fucked. The 7-4 Lafayette Subjugulators are taking on the Kansas City Joysticks at 3-8. Kansas City is in contention. Simulate the game. And Lafayette pulls one out. 8-4. 27-24. Kansas City keeps its 14-0. Dickerson had to come in. Looks like a Yabba Dabadoo who's been on a hot streak came out left injured. A 4-yard pick six by Kansas City keeps it close. And Kansas City with a late field goal. Bannister from Dickerson. Bill Dickerson, 23 of 43 for 247 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Not pretty. But it's Courtney Bannister, 7 catches for 71 yards and 2 touchdowns. That'll be looking like player of the game under Seth Hicks for 10 tackles and interception. Maybe a contender too. The Subjugulators at 8-4 now. The Dinosaur Fossils are at 7-4, and they're taking on the San Juan Don Juans at 5-6. Because there was a lot of time remaining, that's why. Simulate the game. San Juan pulls it out. 30-25, putting a loss to Dinosaur. Go long, goes long. 13-0 at the end of the first quarter. Angelo Saxonville. A lot of missed extra points on this one. 7-yard run, but 30-25. A lot of low-scoring affairs here. Go long, 35 of 52, 254 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also added in a rushing touchdown as well. But I think I'm going to have to give it to Jeff McMillan, who had 8 catches for 109 yards and a touchdown. The Hellraisers are at 3-8 in contention. They're facing the 5-6 Alaska Pipeline. Simulate the game. The Razors have too few active players. Bottoms up for Hell. Lowest ranked person who is not an actual person. Sutton, Jack Dixon. Hey, the first stream shutout. The Hellraisers against the Alaska Pipeline at 3. Hell is at 3-8. Alaska's at 5-6. Simulate the game. 48-38. Hell ruins the tank. Or convolutes the tank. 10-6, and then Hell goes off for 28 points. Marty Safari goes crazy. 35-17 at the half, and they hold on to that giant lead. Marty Safari, 31 of 47, 243 yards, 7 touchdown night. There's your answer. Stones and Rocks are playing later. Ottawa All Caps are at 6-5. They are on a 3-game losing streak. Philadelphia Firestorm are at 6-4. Simulate the game. And Ottawa's back to its winning ways with a 41-31 win. Greg's with a touchdown, with 2 touchdowns thrown. And a reasonably close game. It was the third quarter that was the difference. Greg's with a 7-yard run and 2 passing touchdowns. 28-45, 278 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. And also a rushing touchdown to add with it. John Butler with 7 catches for 69 yards. Nice. But we may have to give it to Greg's on that one. We got 2 more games to simulate before we get to our next game here. Jacksonville is at 4-7. Burbank is at 5-6. Burbank has not scored more than 20 points since we restarted the season in August. Simulate the game. And somebody gave Campbell McAlpine some booze. 68-38. What is this team? Jacksonville drops to 4-8. McAlpine goes crazy. 17 points. It's all squared at 17 apiece. Duval keeping pace. Frank Devine had to come in. Benji Wooden caught a touchdown. Oh, that's why they won. Frank, the backup came in. The backup went crazy. Well, there's your answer. 15 of 16, 151 yards and 5 touchdowns from the backup. Reggie McGee, player of the game, looks like player of the game honor. 7 catches, 114 yards, 4 touchdowns. I may have to give it to Frank Devine, though. Campbell did good. He had the interception, though. Hugh Jazz with 9 tackles and a sack. McGee was a big defensive contributor also. And our final game, we're simulating 5-5 Madden Moonbasers taking on the 3-8 Akihabara Tentacles. Akihabara is in contention. Simulate that game. And Akihabara stays in contention. Madden goes to over 500, 37-34. Kobe Thompson, 21-37, as McComas was out injured. Played the majority of the game, 21-37, 208 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Myers Snow, 3 catches, 50 yards, and 3 catches for 50 yards and 3 touchdowns. Maybe looking at player of the game honors for him. Or you have Phil Williams with 13 tackles and a fumble. Take your pick.